Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Asan Rose, and today we are going to be talking about Portra 800. Yeah, baby. And we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the photos that I've taken so far with this film stock. I want to start off by saying this. I am a very novice film shooter, as I just started shooting film for the very first time in December, and it's honestly been a blast. I just wanted to mention that before I get into any of my reviews of any of the photos that I'm talking about today. But we're gonna be talking about Portra 800, some of the photos that I took on one of my first and second film rolls, and how I've been really enjoying this in the daytime and in the nighttime. So the first photo here was a candid from my friend's car view. His name's Aries, great guy, and I actually have a couple photos of him in here as well. I love to go out in rainy conditions, especially in Los Angeles, because it really doesn't rain here that often. So whenever I feel like I can get a good, solid rain photo of Los Angeles, I do it. So me and him went out shooting, and this is the very first photo that I took with the Portra 800 with a nice low aperture lens or a really fast lens of 1.8 or 1.4 or 1.2, what have you. You can get some really good photos even at nighttime, or if you have a tripod and you decide to do some long exposures or what have you, which I would advise if you really want to maximize the best out of your Portra 800. This portrait of him, of my friend Aries, is I love the way this came out. It's just so clean, and at nighttime, yeah, we found the light, so that definitely helps out. But it's a very clean, it's a very crispy portrait at nighttime, and this is one of the very first ones that I've ever taken of anyone at nighttime with this Portra 800. So I'm actually really excited about how this photo came out, and also the next ones. This is another photo of Aries. This one came out really clean as well. Again, I like the other one a little bit more, even though I like the ambiance, the mood, and the kind of drama that this one has. It's very clean, and even at 800 ISO, like at nighttime, like this is like not far off from what you would get from a digital sensor shooting at f1.8 at ISO 800. It's a very clear image, and I'm actually really digging being able to shoot in daytime and in nighttime with the same film stock. The way you can shoot in daytime with something like a Portra 800 is to have a really fast shutter speed. So I have a Canon EOS 1N and also a Canon A2E, and both of those go up to 8,000 shutter speed. So it helps you be able to shoot in the middle of the day, even with an 800 ISO film stock. All right. Oh, this is actually one of the last nighttime photos that I got. I really enjoyed this photo of these two gentlemen outside the liquor store. It was a candid. I didn't even know if I was gonna be able to take the shot, and it just ended up coming out so clean, so candid, and it's just the light streaks up top. The way that it captures light on film is just so crispy, it's so clean, and it just glows and it makes everything pop. But I really enjoy this photo. It's just clean, it's clear, and I just love this image, and it really is a reason of why I love shooting the Portra 800 and why it was such a fun time. Oh, I found this truck on the side of the road when I was shooting around with a friend, and oh man, this is one of those examples of what I was talking about whenever I say, oh man, I really love shooting Portra 800, because you can even shoot it in the middle of the day. And this is a perfect example of what I mean by that. This Chevy, oh, it just came out so clean. I shot every one of these at f2.8, and they all came out great. f2.8, I think 8,000 was approximately the shutter, or if I had to guess, because I shoot a lot of things at aperture priority. I really prefer aperture priority because it allows you to focus on the things that you want to control. Sometimes I want to be able to control depth of field, and that's really it. Being able to control just the depth of field by shutter speed is a really fun way to shoot sometimes. But that's one of my favorite things to do. This Chevy is just so clean the way it came out. The lines Again, it's nothing special, nothing crazy, but I just wanted to give you guys examples of what my experience was like shooting with Portra 800. So you can make up your mind and see if it's something that you would like to do, or if it's something that you would like to shoot with whenever you decide or go out and shoot film. Man, shooting right through the window with these. These are very clean, for shooting at 800 ISO. This is like, this is so comparable to a digital photo that it's wild. I think a lot of times that comes down to the lens that you have on in front. And I was using a modern lens to capture all of these images. It wasn't like I was using it wasn't like I was using the Canon AE1. I wasn't using an older camera like this. I was, using a much more modern camera like the EOS one in. So whenever you're using a bit more of a modern DSLR and you can use EF glass instead of having to be stuck, or instead of just FD lenses, then it definitely is going to make your images a bit crispier, a bit sharper, and a bit cleaner. This forward image, I love this forward image. Just the way that the colors come out, the color palette, the way that this just pops. These two are two of my favorite. It just frames it in right. It creates this ambiance, this mystery, this just perfect, there's just something about these two photos that I personally really dig and I'm really enjoying. I hope you guys like those as well, and if not, that's okay, but it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I really dig these photos with the Portra 800. Here's a bit of a wide shot of the Chevy truck. Kind of wanted to get a bit more room so you could see the full scale of the truck. So it's those close-ups that I took earlier would have some context. This is also another one of my really favorite photos from the film roll. We were around Manhattan Beach and we were shooting around golden hour, and these photos came out really, really, really crispy and really clean. And again, I'm shooting everything at 800. I'm not pushing or pulling any of the film, and I take exactly what the film lab gave me. I did edit some of these on Lightroom, so it's not like I just pulled them out and just put them in. So they are kind of colored a bit to my taste, and that's about it. But other than that, I have kept everything pretty much as is. And this photo came out wonderful. It gives me such retro California West Coast vibes, and I'm just really digging it, and I love the way it came out. The photo of these two guys right here. This is a really cool example of how Kodak Portra 800 really looks. You have perfect shadows, perfect highlights, and it looks really, really crispy on these guys. It doesn't look crazy, harsh grain. It doesn't look wild. These guys look clean. These guys look crispy. These guys look in focus. And man, these colors, this screams California vibes to me. And you can, again, shoot this in the middle of the day. You can shoot this at nighttime, and you can get that really, really quality image. This image of the birds, of the seagulls, actually, I really, really love the composition of this for some reason, and the colors of it. The reflection of the bird on the beach, and then you also get the coastline that scoops past it. There's just something about it that I feel is very calming, very serene, very real, and I just love the way that this image came out. These are a couple photos that I really, really, really enjoyed. I call this What's Behind the Blue Door. I think these are a really, really good example of how Kodak Portra can also, again, be used in the middle of the day to get a really cool image. It's not going to overexpose your images as long as you have a nice shutter speed and a high enough aperture. You can shoot this in the middle of the day and it looks clean, it looks really crispy, and it has some wonderful, wonderful colors that aren't overly saturated and don't beat you over the head. This is the follow-up photo to that exact one. I just wanted to have a little bit of negative space, a little bit of extra framing in here. That way the image has a little bit of space to breathe, but I also love the the way that the colors interact here, this big negative blue space at the top half, this big white building at the bottom, divided by that blue line with those 2 pops of blue at the bottom. There's just something about this photo again that I really, really enjoyed. And this is the last one of the images of the Portra 800. Again, I didn't know this was gonna take. This is the 37th photo. A wonderful snapshot of a street car on the side. A lot of rust, a lot of negative space with this power line that goes through there that kind of makes the photo a little bit better, I think, overall. But yeah, that was my experience shooting with Portra 800 so far. I actually have a roll of I have a little bit of a Portra 800 left in this Canon AE1 that I have to finish up, and then I am on to my Portra 400. I'm super excited to take on the film challenge and kind of see where my film game goes next. And I really enjoy the Portra lineup. I'm pretty sure and the more that I'm getting into the film game, the more I realize why people really like Portra 400 and Portra 800, because the colors in it really are great. They come out close to what a digital sensor would look like and what a new age sensor would look like, but with that retro vintage feel, and it was shot on film. So it's definitely been a pleasure shooting with Portra 800. And if you guys have any questions, or you want to see any specific film stock being shot, please let me know. Everything I've been shooting so far is 35mm film. I want to get a medium format film camera, and eventually I will, but one day it'll happen. But as of right now, I'm focused on 35mm, and we're gonna push into that until we move up to medium format. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys really enjoyed this review of Portra 800. And again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you want to see anything else, please leave a comment or follow me on Instagram, you guys. Thanks so much. It's been a wonderful time.